Welcome back to our channel, Pocket Coins, as we always say. Old is gold. And today we're about to uncover something even more precious than you might think. In this video, we're diving into the world of the top 10 rare Abraham Lincoln pennies that are worth much more than just 1 cent. If you're lucky enough to have one of these hidden treasures, don't spend it just yet. Stick with us throughout the entire video, and we'll show you how your penny could be worth a small fortune. Let's get started with today's first coin. At first glance, you might think this is just another ordinary penny, but you'd be mistaken. This seemingly simple coin could actually unlock the door to a small fortune. By the end of this video, you won't believe how much this humble little coin could be worth in today's market. Trust me, you'll want to see it to believe it. Let's start by setting the scene. The early 1980s were a time of economic change in the United States. The country was recovering from the stagflation of the 1970s, and inflation was still a concern. The penny, or 1-cent coin, remained an essential part of everyday transactions, but wasn't exactly considered valuable. But what most people didn't know was that during this time, the U.S. Mint was also modernizing its coin designs and production processes, including the penny. The 1981 penny belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Series, which was in circulation from 1959 to 2008. This design featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that was familiar to many Americans for decades. Little did they know, some of these coins would one day become highly sought-after collector's items. So, what makes the 1981 penny so special? It's not just another copper coin. What sets this coin apart is a rare minting error that could increase its value dramatically. Most 1981 pennies are worth only their face value of 1 cent, but a select few feature unique mistakes that make them incredibly valuable. These errors include things like off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned, and double die errors, where the die used to strike the coin was improperly aligned, leading to blurry or doubled images on the coin's faces. These types of errors are highly prized by collectors because they represent rare occurrences in the minting process. The rarer the error, the more valuable the coin. Error coins, like these, are a coveted category in the world of coin collecting. And when you combine a minting error with the age of the coin, you've got something truly extraordinary. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned with the die, causing part of the coin to be blank or misaligned. A penny with a severe off-center strike could sell for a significant amount. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, resulting in a blurry or doubled image on Lincoln's profile. A 1981 double die penny is a particularly sought-after treasure. Sometimes, the die used to strike the coin cracks, causing the crack to show up in the design. These die cracks add another layer of rarity to the coin, making it even more valuable. In recent years, the demand for these error coins, especially those from the early 1980s, has grown considerably. If you happen to have one of these rare variants tucked away in a collection, or even in your loose change, it could be worth a small fortune. If you've got a mint-condition penny with one of these rare errors, you could be sitting on a goldmine. Some 1981 pennies with significant errors have been sold for as much as $50,000. Yes, you heard that right, $50,000 for a single penny. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and the rarer the mistake, the higher the price tag. If you think you might have one of these valuable pennies, here's how to check. Carefully inspect your coins for signs of minting errors, like off-center strikes, double die impressions, or die cracks. If you find one, make sure to protect it by placing it in a secure coin holder and get it professionally graded by an expert to confirm its value. So, if you've got any 1981 pennies lying around, or if you know someone who does, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. You might just have a small fortune hiding in your collection. Misaligned coins that can create blank or misaligned areas. raised lumps of metal or cracks formed by imperfections in the die. Now, let's talk money. While most 1974 pennies are worth only 1 cent, a 1974 penny with a double die error can fetch up to $45,000. Yes, you heard that right. $45,000 for a single penny. To determine if you have a rare 1974 penny, look for doubled images on the date, the word Liberty, or In God We Trust. You should also check for off-center strikes or die cracks. If you find one, store it safely in a protective holder and get it professionally graded to confirm its value. Finally, we have another hidden gem for you, the 1998 US 1 cent coin. When you think of a penny, you probably don't expect it to be worth much, but some 1998 pennies are worth far more than you might expect. Stick around to the end of the video, and you'll see exactly how much this penny could be worth today. In 1998, the U.S. Mint had already switched to copper-plated zinc pennies, and the Lincoln Memorial design was still in circulation. But what makes the 1998 penny special is not just its age. It's the minting errors that make it so valuable. These errors, including double die obverse, off-center strikes, and clipped planchets, have made the 1998 penny a collector's dream. By checking your collection carefully, you might find that what seems like a regular penny is actually a rare and valuable treasure. We've got an incredible story about a 1976 1-cent coin that could be worth a lot more than you might expect. 1976 was a monumental year in U.S. history, as it marked the nation's bicentennial, 200 years of independence. But did you know that the 1976 penny might be hiding a secret treasure? You're going to want to stick around for this one because, at the end of the video, we'll reveal exactly how much this penny could be worth today. Trust me, you'll be shocked when you hear the number. First, let's set the stage for 1976. It was a year of celebration for the United States. The country was brimming with patriotic spirit, marking its 200th birthday. The Bicentennial was celebrated with parades, fireworks, and, of course, special coins. The U.S. Mint produced a range of commemorative coins to mark the occasion, and while most of the attention went to the bicentennial quarter, the penny, our beloved 1 cent coin, had its own special place in the history of 1976. In terms of design, the penny didn't change, still featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. However, the 1976 coinage was part of a larger wave of patriotic celebrations, which adds significance to the year. This sense of national pride helps explain why certain 1976 pennies, especially those with minting errors, have become incredibly valuable in today's coin market. So, what makes the 1976 penny stand out among all the other pennies from the 1970s? On the surface, these pennies may seem like ordinary pieces of pocket change, but there's a key factor that has made certain ones highly desirable among collectors: minting errors. While most 1976 pennies are fairly standard, a small number were struck with unique flaws, and it's these errors that can make them worth thousands of dollars. Let's break down the most common types of errors that can make a 1976 penny valuable. This is one of the most well-known and valuable errors in coin collecting. A double die obverse happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, causing a double design. On the 1976 penny, this is most noticeable in the date 1976, the word Liberty, and the motto, In God We Trust. If you find a 1976 penny with this double die error, you could be sitting on a rare treasure. An off-center strike occurs when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to be missing or misaligned. In the case of the 1976 penny, an off-center strike might result in part of Lincoln's portrait or the Lincoln Memorial being cut off or shifted. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. A clipped planchet error happens when the metal blank used to make the coin is improperly cut before it's struck. As a result, part of the penny's edge is missing or clipped off, giving it a distinctive, irregular shape. Clipped planchets are especially valuable because they are rare and create a unique look that collectors love. Sometimes the die used to strike the coin becomes cracked or damaged. A die crack creates a line or crack on the surface of the coin, while a cut forms a raised lump of metal. These imperfections may seem minor, but they can significantly increase the rarity and desirability of the coin among collectors. Now, here's the exciting part. A regular 1976 penny is worth exactly 1 cent, but if you've got one with a rare minting error, such as a double die obverse, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet, it could be worth much more than its face value. Some of these rare error coins have been known to sell for hundreds, even thousands, of dollars. In fact, a 1976 penny with a double die obverse, a severe off-center strike, or a clipped planchet could be worth as much as $440,000. Yes, you heard that right, $440,000 for a single penny. So, how do you know if you've got one of these rare error coins? Here's a quick guide to help you spot them. Check the date, the word Liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," for any signs of doubling or ghost images. If the design seems misaligned or part of the penny is missing, you may have an off-center strike. If the edge of the penny looks irregular or has a piece clipped off, you might have a clipped planchet error. Inspect the coin for any raised lumps or lines caused by die cracks or cuts. Once you've identified a possible error coin, it's a good idea to get it professionally graded by a certified coin grading service. A graded coin will help determine its exact value and give you peace of mind knowing that you've got a genuine treasure on your hands. There you have it, the 1976 penny, a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but could actually be hiding a small fortune if you know what to look for. Whether it's a double die obverse, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet, these rare minting errors can make your penny worth thousands of dollars. So, the next time you come across a 1976 penny in your change, don't toss it aside. Take a closer look. You might just have a rare treasure hiding in your pocket. We've got something truly special to talk about today, an unsung hero of U.S. currency, the 1991 1-cent coin. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, right? Well, think again. There's a lot more to this little copper coin than meets the eye. If you've got a 1991 penny lying around in your collection, or better yet, if you've got one tucked away in your pocket change, you might just be holding on to something much more valuable than you thought. Stick around until the end because I'll reveal exactly how much this humble penny could be worth today. Trust me, you won't believe the number. Let's rewind a bit. The 1991 penny was minted during a time of economic growth in the United States. By the early 90s, the U.S. had come out of a mild recession in the late 80s, and the economy was steadily growing under President George H.W. Bush's leadership. The penny, as you may know, has remained largely unchanged in design for many years. It features the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, front, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, back. The 1991 penny was part of the Lincoln Memorial series, which was in circulation for decades, from 1959 all the way through 2008. In 2009, the U.S. Mint started producing a new design to mark Lincoln's 200th birthday, but the 1991 penny was still part of the series that captured the spirit of Lincoln's legacy. While most of these pennies were used in everyday transactions and are quite common today, there are a few rare versions, including some with minting errors, that can really surprise you in terms of value. It's these rare variations that make the 1991 penny truly special for collectors. Here's where it gets interesting. So, what makes a 1991 penny worth more than its face value? It's all about the errors and mistakes that can occur during the minting process. When a coin is struck by a damaged die or doesn't align properly, that's when the magic happens. Let's take a look at some of the rarer variants of the 1991 penny that could make it worth a lot more than one cent. One of the most famous and valuable errors is the double die obverse. This happens when a coin is struck twice by the same die, creating doubled features on the coin. On the 1991 penny, this error is often visible in the date 1991, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." If you find a 1991 penny with any signs of doubling, you might just have an error coin worth significantly more than its face value. The double die obverse error can make the coin appear blurry or have ghosted images, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for these rare specimens. Another error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned with the minting die during the strike, causing part of the coin's design to be misaligned or even cut off. For example, part of Lincoln's portrait might be missing, or the date could be partially erased from the coin's face. The more extreme the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Coins with severe misalignments can be worth far more than their face value, especially if they are in excellent condition. A clipped planchet error occurs when the blank metal that is supposed to be struck into a coin is cut improperly before it's even struck by the die. This results in a coin with an irregular shape, where part of the edge is missing or clipped off. These are rarer than most minting errors, and they're highly collectible because each clipped planchet is completely unique. Coins with this error tend to stand out in any collection, and the more extreme the clip, the higher the value. So, if you find a 1991 penny with a clipped edge, don't dismiss it. It could be worth a small fortune. Another error that can increase the value of your 1991 penny is a die crack or a cud. A die crack occurs when the minting die is damaged, causing a crack in the die. This crack is then transferred to the coin's design during the minting process. A cud, on the other hand, is a raised lump of metal that appears on the coin when part of the die breaks off. Both of these errors can give the coin a distinctive look that makes it more valuable. Die cracks are typically small and barely noticeable, but cuds are much more dramatic and obvious. If you spot either of these errors on your 1991 penny, you might have something worth checking out by a professional. Now let's talk about the value. If you find a 1991 penny with any of the errors we've just discussed, how much could it be worth? It depends on the severity of the error and the overall condition of the coin, but some of these rare minting errors can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a 1991 penny with a double die obverse error can sell for several $1,000s, especially if the error is pronounced and visible. Off-center strikes and clipped planchets can also significantly increase the value, with coins in near-mint condition reaching top dollar. So, for the big reveal, if you have a 1991 penny with a major error, such as a double die obverse or off-center strike, it could be worth $42,000. Yes, you heard me right, $42,000 for a single 1991 penny with a rare minting flaw. That's an incredible amount for something most people consider to be just pocket change. How do you know if your 1991 penny is worth $42,000? Here's a quick checklist to help you identify whether your penny could be a valuable find. Look closely at the date, liberty, and "In God We Trust." For any signs of doubling. Is part of the design missing or shifted? That could be a sign of an off-center strike. A clipped planchet will have a sharp edge or an irregular shape indicating part of the coin was missing before it was struck. Check for die cracks or cuds that could increase the coin's value. Once you've identified a rare error, be sure to store it safely in a protective holder and have it professionally graded by a certified coin grading service. A graded coin will not only confirm its value, but also ensure it's properly preserved for the long term. There you have it, the 1991 penny, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but could actually be hiding a small fortune if you know what to look for. Whether it's a double die obverse, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet, These rare minting errors make the 1991 penny a hidden treasure for collectors. Before you toss your pennies into a jar, take a moment to inspect them. You never know. You could be sitting on $42,000 in pocket change. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss any of our exciting discoveries.